Hey everyone, it's Dr. Mondo, and I wanted to take a quick, big break in between clients today to just talk to you a little bit more about what I'm learning about here this last couple weeks and what I'm reading about. I want to give you some links to some videos down below. I'm learning about the pleasure trap. I don't know if anyone's heard about the pleasure trap before, but it's a book that was written by a psychologist named Dr. Doug Lisle, and Dr. Alan Goldhammer. And Dr. Lisle is actually here from the Sacramento area. They run a medical wellness center called True North, located in Santa Rosa, California. And they have some really, really amazing concepts that have just been impacting me in my own journey, and also in turn the journey of the way that I'm helping my clients, both in therapy session and also the ones that I'm helping around the world through the medium of Facebook and an online program at drmondo.org. But one of the really innovative things that they're talking about in their book, The Pleasure Trap, and I'll put some links down below to some short videos where they explain it, is basically this theory that they have that there's some folks that will come in to me that will say to me, Dr. Mondo, I'm addicted to sugar, or I'm addicted to, fast food. I'm addicted to this different stuff. And for a long time, I would say, are you really addicted? Is there really evidence to show that you are? And now what I'm finding, the more that I study neuroscience and I studied some of the things mentioned in Dr. Goldhammer and Dr. Lisle's book, is that, the theory that they have is that, yeah, you probably are. And I am realizing now that I've gone past 90 days, approaching 100 days of whole foods, plant-based, for the most part, SOS, vegan. That's a mouthful. What that basically means is I'm not eating dairy, I'm not eating animal protein, I'm not eating oil, I'm not eating sugar. I know it sounds like there's a lot of not eating, but believe me, I'm eating so much great stuff. But in this journey, as I approach about 100 days now, one of the things I'm realizing is that people keep saying, "How are you able to not eat those things?" Man, I couldn't give up cheese, or some of my friends even said, "I never thought you'd give up cheese. You were like the cheese king." And what I tell people is it has nothing to do with willpower. There's nothing, I have a lot of desire. My why is pretty big right now, but really what it comes down to is what Dr. Goldhammer and Dr. Lisle are talking about in the pleasure trap. It's the fact that when you detox from these foods, that when you really take them out of your system, what you find is that all of a sudden your body is allowed to become once again attracted to the foods that it's meant to eat and it's meant to have in your system. So fruits, vegetables, legumes, grains start to all of a sudden taste good without a ton of salt. And that takes some time, but the key again is that the reason why you are saying to yourself, am I addicted to food? And the reason why you're feeling like you know what to do, but you can't do it, is because that there is a process that's happening in your brain where the certain foods, like the high fat foods, dairy, and especially processed foods, because processed foods have been engineered to get you hooked. Just like any drug manufacturer, their goal is to sell more product. Same goes for these food companies, right? So they've manufactured these foods in a way to basically light up your brain, and it releases more dopamine, which is the pleasure-seeking chemical in your brain that makes you feel good, and that's why your brain continues to go back and tries to chase the high. I have one friend who told me, he said, "I don't know why I keep going back to Taco Bell. It's not like I don't know what Taco Bell tastes like. I've had it 100 times, but essentially what he's saying, and what Dr. Goldhammer and Dr. Lisle would say, is they'd validate, yeah, you're chasing the initial high, that first time you had Taco Bell, or that first time that you experienced cheese, or that first time that you experienced, a big fatty steak. So what this does is it really transforms a lot, and they do some amazing work you guys got to check out. You could Google them at True North, and I'll put some information of theirs down below. But what it really changes is it really changes how we think about this process. That it says to me that detoxing is more important than we know, and that if you want to really get to the root of rewriting your story with food, you have to consider going through a process of detoxifying from these foods that are meant to get us hooked, right? Again, the odds, the game is stacked against us in that sort of way. So we have to put the odds in our favor by detoxing from these foods. And then the other thing too is that it really makes you start looking at different food choices and saying that, once you're able to detox, you know that you'll make different choices, not out of willpower, because your body starts to crave it. So you're able to listen to your body more. So it's really in line with a lot of intuitive eating practices. It's in line with lots of different stuff that we see to also work, in this way of rewriting your story and rewriting your story with food. So those are some things I'm learning. I'm going to link down below to some really short but amazingly impactful videos. Check those out. Again, there's a reminder that we are going to be launching the Rewriting My Story with Dr. Mondo in January. It's going to be a segment where we interview people about their weight loss stories in a way that you've never heard before. It's going to be almost like a therapy session in some ways, about how we talk about what's really going on under the hood for them, inside of themselves as they went through that process, what it's like to renegotiate their relationships, what it's like to have new attention from the opposite sex, what it's like to go through changes in their marriage or with their partner. So we're going to talk about all that stuff, changes with their body, how they see themselves in the mirror differently after a year of losing 100 pounds. And so we're going to have some amazing stories. We have some great guests lined up. Definitely tune in for that. It's going to be every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and that is Pacific Standard Time. So again, remember, tune in, check it out. We're so excited. We start that in January. Also, I'm announcing here very shortly that we're going to start another 30-day vegan challenge. Had a lot of interest in doing that again. January is a great time to do it, so we're going to do it. I believe it's the 8th. Don't quote me on that. I'll put the date out and below. But we're going to do a 30-day vegan challenge. It's going to be the same private Facebook group that we have. So if you're already in it, don't worry. You just stay in the group. But we're going to reboot that thing and get it ready for January. That way, if there's people that want to do a 30-day whole foods plant-based challenge, they can start on I believe it's the second Monday in January. So I'm giving you guys a little bit of leeway. I think it's like the 8th of January. So if you want to start on the 1st, go ahead. You'll just have a head start. But the idea is to incorporate some of the principles that we've talked about a lot with the whole foods plant-based eating. And it's also going to be incorporating some of the principles now I've been learning from The Pleasure Trap, the book that I'm referencing here, and I'll give you guys some more information about. So again, I hope if you guys can join us for that. Facebook Live starts in January, every Tuesday night, great interviews. And then we also have the 30-day Whole Foods Plant-Based Challenge. If you haven't done it, of course, January is a great time to get started. And if you are on this journey and you're doing it during the holidays, why don't you share with me below kind of how that's going? I could tell you for me, there's just kind of some more planning that's involved, but man, once you really get some momentum, this thing becomes easy. And when you see The Pleasure Trap explained, you'll understand why that is. It's not because we have more willpower than others. It's simply because your body is able to all of a sudden you're able to get in tune with your body, and your body tells you what you need versus what you don't need. So you guys have a great Wednesday, and I will see you guys so soon.